Hello everyone, welcome to today's podcast. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that affects many young people, housing ownership. If you are living in a city, starting or just starting your career, you may have already noticed that buying a home is becoming increasingly out of reach. Housing prices are rising, living costs are increasing, but young people's incomes are growing very slowly. In this episode, we will connect our discussion to Sustainable Development Goal 11 SDG 11, which focuses on building inclusive, safe and sustainable cities. From a youth perspective, we will explore the current housing situation, the challenges faced, and potential solutions toward 2030. Housing is more than just a place to live. For many people, it represents security, stability, and a sense of control over their future. For young people, owning a home often symbolizes true independence. It allows them to plan for the long term, starting a family, developing a career, and even preparing for the next generation. Because of this, housing ownership is often seen as a basic human right. This idea aligns closely with SDG 11. If cities fail to provide affordable housing options for young people, sustainable urban development is compromised. Young people today face multiple challenges when it comes to housing. First, there is the mismatch between housing prices and income. In many major cities, housing prices rise much faster than young people's salaries. Even with a stable job, many cannot meet the minimum bank requirements for a mortgage. Second, there is living costs and debt pressure. Student loans, car loans, rent and daily expenses significantly reduce young people's ability to save, making it harder to prepare a down payment. Third, loan approval requirements are high. Banks usually require stable income, good credit records, and long-term repayment capacity. In reality, many young people work contract jobs or have flexible employment, which makes getting approved more difficult. Additionally, there is a shortage of affordable housing in strategic locations, which increases competition among first-time buyers. From research and preparation for this podcast, we've found that many young people share similar experiences and feelings about housing. Many feel that buying a home brings not only financial stress, but also long-term psychological pressure. They worry that their efforts may never keep up with the pace of rising housing prices. At the same time, many admit that they lack sufficient knowledge about mortgages, interest rate changes, repayment periods, and hidden costs. This information gap makes housing decisions even more difficult. Also, young people living in cities often face a tough choice between renting close to work or buying a house further away. This trade-off directly affects their quality of life and well-being. These real experiences show that youth housing is not just an economic issue, but also a social and urban development issue. To address these challenges, solutions need to be implemented on multiple levels. On the policy side, governments can expand youth housing programs, lower down payment requirements, and develop more flexible rent-to-own housing schemes. On the individual and social level, improving financial literacy is crucial. By learning budgeting, credit systems, and basic real estate knowledge early, young people can plan better and avoid long-term financial risks. Furthermore, community-centered housing design can enhance social connections, safety, and overall quality of life. This aligns closely with the goals of SDG 11. In conclusion, while youth housing challenges are complex, they are not impossible to solve. With collaborative efforts from governments, society, and young people themselves, through sound policies, educational support, and sustainable urban planning, young people can move closer to achieving their housing dreams. Before we end today's episode, I'd like to leave you with a question. By 2030, what does affordable, inclusive, and sustainable housing look like to you? And by 2030, we hope that affordable housing will no longer be a privilege, but a basic right. Everyone, from students to working parents to the elderly, should have access to a safe and stable home. But affordability alone is not enough. We also need inclusive housing. Inclusion means designing spaces where people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds can live together comfortably. Imagine neighborhoods where playgrounds, parks, and community centers encourage interaction across generations, where wheelchair accessible, pathways and elevators are standard, not optional, where cultural diversity is celebrated through design communal spaces and shared activities. Inclusion is about belonging. It is about ensuring that no one feels left out or excluded in the place they call home. And then, of course, there is sustainability. Housing in 2030 must respond to climate change. It is no longer acceptable to build in ways that harm the environment. Sustainable housing means energy-efficient buildings, the use of renewable energy, water-saving systems, and recycled or low-impact materials. It means designing neighborhoods that reduce dependence on cars and encourage walking, cycling, and public transport. When housing is sustainable, it benefits both the planet and the people who live in it. Low utility costs, cleaner air, and a healthier environment all become part of daily life. Now let's think about how these three principles, affordability, inclusivity, and sustainability, come together. Picture a community built around these ideas. Families live in energy-efficient apartments that they can comfortably afford. Their neighbors come from different backgrounds, and public spaces invite them to meet, socialize, and collaborate. Schools, clinics, shops, and green spaces are within walking distance, so residents don't need long commutes. Streets are safe for walking and cycling. Public transport is easily accessible, and most importantly, people feel part of a caring, connected community. This vision is not impossible. Cities around the world are already moving in this direction. In Vienna, Austria, social housing combines high-quality design with affordability. Singapore's public housing integrates green spaces, parks, and community facilities. In Copenhagen and Melbourne, sustainable building practices like solar panels, rainwater harvesting, and energy-efficient insulation are becoming standard. These examples show us that the housing of 2030 is achievable if we make the right choices today. But achieving this future will require collaboration. Governments, architects, urban planners, developers, and communities must work together. Policies need to prioritize affordable and inclusive housing. Building codes must support sustainability. Funding and incentives should encourage innovation. And we as residents must demand a future where no one is left behind. By imagining housing this way, we can also see its broader impact. Affordable, inclusive, and sustainable housing strengthens and as communities. It reduces social inequality. It improves mental and physical health. It supports education, employment, and economic stability. It helps fight climate change. In short, the homes we build by 2030 can shape the kind of society we want to live in. A society that values fairness, resilience, and care for our planet. So, what does this mean for you and me? It means that every choice matters. The policies we support, the communities we engage with, the architects and builders who trust, all contribute to the housing landscape of 2030. It means thinking beyond the individual homes and considering how neighborhoods, cities, and even entire regions can be designed with affordability, inclusion and sustainability in mind. Let's close our eyes for a moment, and imagine walking through a city in 2030. Children play safely in green parks, elderly neighbors sit together in shaded communal areas, sharing stories and wisdom. Families live in comfortable apartments that don't strain their finances. Renewable energy powers homes. Public transport is efficient. Cycling lanes are safe. And streets feel alive with community activity. Everyone belongs. Everyone benefits. Everyone contributes to a sustainable and connected society. This is not just a dream. It is a vision within our reach. By working together, policymakers, planners, architects, developers, and citizens alike, we can ensure that by 2030, housing is affordable, inclusive, and sustainable for all. And when that happens, we will not only have built homes, we will have built stronger, healthier, and more connected communities.